Crap. Hello, ladies. This is Patricia coming to you this week. Last week, of course, I talked about the top 4 creativity blockers. This week, I want to talk about the process. It's all about the process and how to let the process build you and not break you. You know, there's a process to anything that we desire to accomplish in our lives, especially our dream. It's a process. There is a process. I'm pretty sure you've heard this and you're probably like, what the heck is the process? I'm so sick of hearing the process, the process. It's just what you have to go through to get to where you want to be, what you want to accomplish. It's a process. And even for myself, I've forgotten, that it's a process. Because I know I've talked about it before, when I wasn't clear or wanting the quick and easy, knowing that full well that anything that I truly desired or was really worth having doesn't come quick and easy. But I had that mentality at one point. And it's the whole thing with the process. And I want to talk about, things you can do to help you make it through the process, as well as, like I say, let it build you and not break you. And I want to ask you something. When people say process, or you may have heard there's a process to it, or there's a level to this. It's the same thing. It's about going through the process and allowing you to reach your goal, to accomplish your next level in life, to evolve into the person you need to be, who God has already sees you as, but we haven't evolved into that person. But I want to ask you this, and I want you to honestly think about it and honestly give an answer. If, say, I was a genie, and just as an example, and keep it fun, I was a genie, and you know what you want to accomplish. You know your dream. Hopefully, you've been following me. You got this mapped out. You got your vision for your life, what you want for your life. If I was to grant you that one wish right now, and I'll have snapping my fingers and grant you that wish, and bam, right at this present moment, you have everything that you truly want in its full entirety, your dream life, the life that you desire, whatever it is that you have, what that is, but I just, bam, you have it now. I want to ask you, are you really and truly ready and prepared for it? You don't have, I want you to think about that question and honestly think about it and give your honest answer. For most of us, we're not ready. And that's what the process does, even myself included. I'm going through the process of getting to my next level. There's going to be another process, another test, trials, another processing, another refining to get to my next level, and so forth. And it's all part, if you think about, it's all part of you evolving into the person that God desires you to be, that God wants you to be. Because there are so many, what I've learned even myself, is there's so many levels to us. So many, in some levels, there's so many levels and there's so many deep layers, I would say, to us as an individual. And of course, the more experiences we've had in life, those layers are even deeper. And we have to go through those layers, uncover those layers, especially the negative ones, the ones filled with, the hurt, the pain, the baggage. And that's what the process does. That's what, going through the process and allowing it to build you and not break you. That's what it does. It's just preparing you for what you say you want. And like I say, I asked that question. I want you to honestly give an answer. Will you, if I'm a genie, I snap my fingers, you have everything, your dream in its full entirety, the life that you desire, your extraordinary life. Are you really ready and prepared for it now? And like I say, for myself, I know, no, I'm not. When I think about my full dream in entirety, I'm not. So I'm even going through a process. Everybody goes through a process. It doesn't end, because the more you grow and develop and the more you want to, reach or accomplish, there's, as they say, the phrase, there's different levels to it, and it's always going to be a process. So one is The first thing you do is understand, be aware, and acknowledge that it is a process. You cannot circumvent it. You cannot go around it, go over it. So acknowledge that, because a lot of people don't. And like I say, myself coming, I know about processes. I'm a technology background, project management. When that's what I was doing, implementing global projects for a Fortune 500 company. So I know about processes. So you can't just go implement this $1 million project. There's a process to it. To the thing. So, but I had forgotten about that when it came to stepping out and pursuing, or it kind of ignored that or forgot about it and became desperate when it came to building this business, my current business. So I kind of forgot about that. So it's getting back and first aware and acknowledge that it is a process. You have to go through the process. You can't get around it. And like I say, you may have heard this before. So, but being aware that it is a process, and I've actually taken some notes. I'm going to look at my notes here. Two is, like I say, embracing it. And one of the things that I learned from my coach mentor was that, when she made the statement that, changing your perspective and think in terms of life is happening for me instead of to me. And I know, for myself, that was a game changer, an eye opener, because like most of us, it's like we are thinking is life is happening to me. Because just think about it. Think of experiences you've had, especially the not so good ones, the one that don't feel so good, and we cry, why me? Why this? Why? So we're on the page of why life is happening to me instead of life is happening for me. Now, granted, if when we shift our perspective to thinking that way, but then that also causes us to dig a little deep, uncover some layers, because if things are happening that are not good and we keep attracting all this wrong stuff, negative stuff, then it's time to actually go inward and, go to some of them layers, clear out some of them layers, go deep. I've said this before, go deep, until you keep uncovering those layers and see, why are you keep attracting, what is in you, that you keep attracting these type of things, these kind of people, what is in you that you keep self-sabotaging yourself, or if that is the case. Like I said, it may not be the case, but if this is the case, those are kind of the questions that you need to do, and need to ask yourself as well. And part of that's taking time, that alone, quiet time that I constantly talk about all the time, and asking yourself these questions, being open, listening to the answers, writing, journaling. So all of these things, you can uncover these layers. You can keep growing, keep developing, keep growing, keep evolving into the person that God meant for you to be. So that you can accomplish your dream in its full entirety as well, and walk in your purpose and your power in its full entirety. So change your perspective. If your perspective is life is happening to me, shift your perspective to life is happening for me. And 3 questions when it comes to that, and helping you to embrace it. So if you're in an experience now, you may be in the midst of some crap right now. It doesn't feel good, doesn't look good, and you're like trying to stay afloat. But shift your perspective to what I just said, and say life is happening for me and not to me. But then also ask yourself these questions. The first one is, what is the lesson here in this experience? So, what is the lesson in this experience? What is the message that God, the universe, is wanting me to know here? What is that message? And then the third question is, how can I take this experience and use it for good to help someone else? So that's the 3 questions when it all comes to embracing the process so that it builds you and not breaks you. One is shifting your perspective to life, from life is happening to me to life is happening for me. And then ask these 3 questions. What is the lesson in this experience? There's always a lesson in an experience. No matter how awesome the experience is, I firmly believe there's always a lesson. And it took me a minute to actually come to this awareness and knowledge, and to shift to this side of things. But there's always a lesson. And most of us, even myself at one point, has been guilty because I wasn't on that page and I didn't learn the lesson, I kept repeating the experience so that I could learn the lesson. And that's another thing. Ask yourself, what experience do you keep having? And now I want to ask you, go back. Okay, if you're in the midst of that same experience now, ask yourself, shift your perspective and ask yourself, what is the lesson? Learn the lesson so you can stop repeating the experience. But that is how you embrace the process so that it helps build you and not break you. Uh, the third one is do your part. Sometimes, and normally, in the process, that's where you can say the test, the trials, the everything. It seemed like everybody maybe against you, family, friends, or walking away, leaving you, or shit falling apart. Excuse me, language, but stuff falling apart, and you're crying out. You're about to give up. You want to give up. That's all part of the process. It's not pretty. Speaking from going through, been through the process, and even going through the process is not pretty. But if you would just hold on and persevere and get back up and keep going, keep pushing your way through and embracing it, you will make it through the process. And then you would have learned that, okay, this is a process. It's not going to go away. But you get better at going through the process because now you embrace it. You're aware of it. You embrace it and you let it build you instead of break you. So that is the thing, embrace the process. And like I said, this third one is do your part. Take care of your mind, body, and spirit every single day. Because like I said, when you're going through the process, it's not pretty. I'm not going to lie, it's not pretty. You probably already know this. It's not pretty. But if you ask yourself, how can I deepen my spiritual connection? How can I deepen my work on my mindset, my mind? How can I amp up my mindset practice? You do have a mindset practice, don't you? You should. If you've been following me, you should have a daily mindset practice. And you should be, like I say, doing it daily. I know sometimes we may slip up. I slipped up myself, kind of got lax with the process, back on it. And I know that it works. So it's like, why would you ever get away from this? You know that it works. So, but you should have a daily mindset practice and ask yourself when you're going through how can I amp this up? Stay connected, stay strengthening your spiritual connection, your spirit, nurturing it, and like I say, every single day. Also your body, do some type of exercise. It may not have to be, if it's even just something for 10 minutes or taking a walk for 10 minutes, but something to just, move your body for a few minutes. Of course, everybody says 30 is great, but you can do just 10 minutes. It's just that moving your body, clearing your mind, exercise. We all know or should know the benefits of exercise. So that's all in doing your part so that you can, make it through the process, embrace the process as well. And then last but not least, get a mentor, get help. Find somebody that has been through the process or, where you desire to be. That typically means they've been through the process. So they can help you make it through the process as well. But granted, they can only advise you about what worked for them. They can only give you suggestions, like I say, and help. They can't do it for you. So if there is no magical answer, so if you're thinking that in terms of that, or like I said, because one, we've already acknowledged there is no quick and easy. So all they can do is give you what worked for them, what helped them, and help you stay, and support you and stay positive and keep you uplifted and accountable. Now, that's the key things that your mentor, your coach can do for you, but you have to do the work. You have to go through the process. So that is how you let the process build you and not break you. If you have any questions or like I say, or any other topic, like I said in the last video, and if you missed the last video, is just look in the feed. But that was the top 4 creativity blockers because like I said, we are powerful creative beings and we can create whatever it is that we desire. It's just allowing that creativity to flow and then taking action on those ideas, that creativity, implementing that creativity. So this is how, or top 4 things you can do to let the process build you and not break you.